Hello everyone, welcome to Tooth and Claw Podcast. We are the three foodie boys. Today we will be talking about whether plain old cheese pizza is better or pepperoni pizza. Wes, I'll kick it to you.
Yeah, I like cheese. I'm a cheese guy.
Cheese. Sammy.
Over
Cheese.
pepperoni. Yeah, Sammy, what do you think?
I pepperoni. Am I the lone pepperoni over here?
I like pepperoni too. It's hard to decide.
Thank you.
Nah, Wes, go ahead and introduce our guest.
Yeah, we're joined again by our good friend Sammy Smart from Too Scary Didn't Watch. We only collaborate with podcasts where if you type 2 into the search bar, that podcast comes up. So,
Yeah.
Sammy, we're very happy to have you on the show again.
The Too Fast, Too Furious podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
All
That's our
sorts of
other
twos.
favorite.
I'm delighted to be back with you guys and excited to see what we have in store for this
Well, yeah.
spooky episode.
Hold that thought about being delighted.
2 girls, 1 cup podcast.
I feel like at this point, we're kind of like, we could really just be held accountable for harassment at this point. Just once a year,
Yeah.
we bring Sam, we trot her out and inflict some emotional damage. We're like, all right,
Wes
see you
just
next time.
comes up with the worst thing
Yeah.
he can.
I did it again, guys. I did it again.
Boy.
The whole-
worse than leeches in the butt?
I just want to say the episode has a lot of stuff that's not that bad, but there's one bit that is quite bad. So I'm just prepping everyone for that. There's one,
Ooh.
this is kind of a multi-story episode, and one of those stories is horrific.
Well,
Great.
before we get to the story, I feel like we need to help Mike out a little bit. So he wasn't on our last episode. And I just want to do a correction corner. There's a lot of chatter about somehow we were trying to compliment him and we ended up just throwing in a line that he's mean to service workers. Which isn't
not
true.
It's not true at all.
That wasn't a nightmare. I didn't just wake up from a bad dream.
The one episode you skip where you just like really put your
Yeah.
name through the dirt for no reason.
My 2 best friends got on our audience of international audience of thousands and thousands of listeners. And Wes was like, Mike's a pretty nice guy. And Jeff was like, well, I don't know about that. I want to know what you witnessed in India is my big question. Like that to me, I thought maybe I'll just have you recount it real quick. Sorry, Sammy. This is like inner
No,
turmoil, inner podcast drama, but
I
I'm riveted.
started to say Mike is incredibly kind to people, even random people, and then Jeff interjected the India thing. And
He's like-
in Mike's defense, the TSA, the Indian equivalent of TSA, they were really hard to deal with. Like you had to pull apart every single electronic you had in your bag.
Well,
and I don't remember Mike being particularly put off by it more so than the rest of us.
I don't remember saying anything to any of them. So I'm just curious
Yeah.
what you had in your brain, Jeff, for that, like for that
There's one
specific
time where-
instance to be brought up to castigate me, just a blanket statement that I'm mean to service workers everywhere. Anyway, I'm over. I really don't care. We're over it. So
Did you
Well,
get
I
a lot
think
of
it
shit
was-
from the listeners, Mike?
kinda. I got like a few Discord messages, private messages, and then I guess
Just
like a
like, we're so
Reddit thread
disappointed.
popped up.
There
Yeah,
was
they're
a
like,
full,
Disappointed in
someone made like a full Reddit, like, is
Oh,
Mike mean
no.
to service
Gosh,
workers?
He is not. I'm going to say it definitively, and this isn't just us trying to cover our bases. What I was trying to say originally in that compliment is very true, that Mike is exceedingly kind to just about every person he ever meets.
Except for you guys.
And you wouldn't expect it from his outward demeanor and like kind of how he represents himself on the podcast. So it's corrected. We don't have to bring it up again. That is Mike's true nature, and it's what I meant to say in the first place. Let's move on to the episode. I'm
Yeah,
glad
please.
you brought it up, though, Jeff. Sammy, thanks for joining us. I've been on their podcast a few times. Sammy's been here a few times, mostly during October. Well, you're one of our favorite guests. I'm just going to
Yes.
say it.
I love to be here, and I'm thrilled to hear it. It's a huge honor. So thank you for having me.
There's a specific part of this episode that I was saving just for you, and that's why we're doing it today.
Okay.
And I think you'll know it when it comes up. It's going to be toward the end. But just so you know, there's part of this episode that's about you. Mike originally sent me the idea, and then I've workshopped it a little bit, so
Ooh.
we'll get to it. Yeah. All
I'm
right.
giddy and I'm scared.
There's not
what
much
do you
scarier
want
than
me to do during that part?
just, I want you to be as quiet as possible.
Just leave.
No, I want you to stay. All right. So there's not much scarier than death, right? Death is one of the scariest things
Ooh, public
that faces
speaking.
all of us.
Tax
There's a
season.
whole-
Push back a little.
Getting a splinter
All right.
under your fingernail.
We're not going to get through today's episode ever. There's a whole franchise devoted to death, popular horror movies with Final Destination. I think it's something that every human, whether or not you think you're afraid of it, you might be on your deathbed. We just don't know. What's your guys' favorite Final Destination movie, by the way?
First one.
Mine's 3.
Mine's 2.
Okay.
Whoa. It
Covering
actually might
a
be
lot
the
of
latest
bases.
one for me. I don't
That was
care for
also
those
great.
movies, but
Okay.
that one was doing some, it was cooking a little bit.
I like the Mary Elizabeth Winstead one, but
Yeah,
yeah.
she's great. She brings so much to it, and she just it's
not a lot
it's
to
such
work
a funny contrast between her and every other actor in that movie. It's great.
Yeah. 2 has the best setup, I think. The logs
That's
in
the
2 are
log
the
truck
best,
one,
but
yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to get into some deaths that seem kind of Final Destination-y, but they all involve animals. And we're not going to really spend a lot of time on any of these stories. So we're going to leave some meat on the bone is what I'm trying to say. So listeners, at some point you may hear one of these stories again. With like a much deeper dive. We recently did that with
That's
another
another
story.
thing we need to tell listeners. Like
Our recent Polar Bear
retell
episode,
Mike's
Mike
story.
had done on a subscriber story, and
I leave you
retold it.
guys alone for 1 week. You steal my story, you insult me, and I come back. And
When
it's
you
like,
told that story, I said we'll probably do this as a main feed episode someday, and we did.
all right.
Okay. This list comes with a
Like,
big old warning that some of these
Was
stories.
Jeff paying attention for that? Would have been funny. Been
Yeah.
like, well, actually, I don't even remember the first time we told it.
This list comes with a big warning that some of these stories are pretty old, some of them even thousands of years old.
Oh,
So
wow.
take them with a grain of salt. Even the ones that are a little bit more modern, just realize that none of these are very new stories. And because of that, we're going over them as they were recorded. There's probably some myth and apocryphal things that have kind of crept into some of these stories. So just take all of them with a grain of salt. Okay. We're going to start with Heraclitus or Heraclitus. Yeah.
Whoa.
We all know it.
Heraclitus.
If they're listening, we apologize.
Yeah.
Butchered. his
I
name.
doubt he's listening. He was a pre-Socratic Greek philosopher who, by all accounts, was a pretty weird dude. Sounds like he was pretty good at annoying just about everyone he came in contact with, so he was known as the Obscure because of his cryptic teachings, and he was also called the Weeping Philosopher because he was pretty melancholic. He was like very sad and like talking about sad things. Today, he's best known for saying, "You cannot step in the same river twice," because water's always moving, so when you step in a river a second time, the water will have changed.
Wisdom. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty smart
Words
smart
to
guy.
live by.
Yeah.
How would you implement that in your day-to-day life, Jeff?
I think like if I was like really good at sports, after a loss, I'd say something like some bullshit like that. You know,
Yeah.
like if I was like an NFL
Heracles
quarterback
once said.
with 4 interceptions, and then they're asking me like what happened, I'd be like, "You can't step in the same river twice."
Yeah.
And they'd
Well,
be like, "That's well said." He's
You did-
mature."
If you
You did throw 4 interceptions. So.
tell the same story on a podcast twice.
You can tell the same story twice for sure.
Yes. All right. Well, weird Greek philosophers really like to die in strange ways, and this guy really went for it. I'll set up the scene. Basically, he got so tired of people, and they got so tired of him, that he decided to go live a solitary life in the mountains. And when he did there, he did his best just to live on grass and herbs. So that's really all he was eating.
Oh.
Turns out it wasn't enough, and this new diet gave him dropsy. And dropsy is kind of the old-timey word for edema. So essentially, like all of his tissues and whatnot swelled with fluid. So he's like, okay, I got to get out of the mountains. I got to go back down to civilization and try and find a cure. But when he went to the physicians, rather than just tell them what he had, he presented them with a riddle and said whether, yeah. Which you do,
As
right,
you
Sammy?
do, yeah,
when you
yeah,
go to the
yeah.
doctor,
You don't want to give it straight to the doctor. You want to make them work for it a little bit.
the doctor's like, "What's wrong with you?" And you're like,
Yeah.
"Answer my riddles 3 first." Anyway, what he said was whether or not the doctors were able to produce a drought after wet weather. So the doctors were confused what might be going on with him, and they weren't able to help him. So he decided just to take his matters into his own hands. And what he thought was, okay, if I rub a bunch of cow dung on myself, certainly when it dries, it'll suck the fluid out of my body and get rid of these bad humors that he had inside of him. So, quick spoiler, he ends up dying from this, but there is some debate over how it happens. Some people say he asphyxiated under this huge pile of cow dung. Some say he baked himself to death in the sun, trying to dry out all of this cow dung. And then there's the reason why he's on this list. Some people say that he was ripped apart by feral dogs while he was covered in this cow dung, which seems like a particularly terrible death and why we included him on the list. Sammy, do you have any idea how dogs might kill their prey?
I mean, with their tearing them apart with their jaws.
Yeah, that's a pretty good guess.
Not with like a knife or something.
No.
Gun.
So they're not an animal that has like claws, or they do have claws, but they don't kill their prey with their claws.
That question
they
was
do-
so obvious, Wes, that you had like kind of tricked us into thinking
Well-
that there was like a secret answer.
We talk
or
about-
something.
Their mouths.
We talk about big
Yeah.
cats on this podcast, and big cats will dispatch their prey. They'll like strangle or separate vertebrae, or they'll do something to kill them quickly. And what I was
Yeah.
trying to get at here is that dogs don't do that. Dogs will literally do what you just said, Sammy, tear them apart with their mouths. They're not trying to kill it quickly. They're just trying to tear it apart. So it's an especially horrible way to die. We talked about it last year with you with the wolf episode.
Right.
It's not a good way to go. So that's why he was included in this. And also we're going to do 7 total stories. And at the end, I'm going to have you guys say which were the 3 worst of these historical
You
deaths.
think it's worse than like being baked in
I was
cow
gonna say,
dung?
well, this one has 3 already.
Yeah.
Maybe if he would have like rubbed dry cow dung on himself, and then his water would have absorbed into it.
It was
I
a
feel
crazy
like
plan all around.
a bad
It
plan.
drying out on you,
That's not a bad
means
idea,
the water
yeah.
went into you.
Right.
It's a bad idea. So if you have dropsy out there, first of all,
Give it to the doctor
Yeah,
straight.
tell the doctors exactly what's wrong.
No riddles.
You don't need to give them riddles, and then don't rub cow dung on yourself. Okay, we're gonna move right along. Jeff,
Okay.
you live in England. You're living in England in 1703. How worried are you about tigers?
I'm probably more worried about how to like travel back forward in time to get back here.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you're concerned about not changing anything too. You know?
Yeah, don't touch anything.
Don't meet yourself.
But yeah, I wouldn't have tigers on the brain at all.
Okay. Well, if you worked at the White Lion Tavern in Malmesbury in 1702,
I'd be worried about lions.
Yeah, you shouldn't be. You should be pretty worried about tigers.
Huh.
According to accounts from the time, a traveling
It's like a false
menagerie.
front. Make you feel comfortable that there's no tigers there by calling it lion.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well, it worked in this situation because a traveling menagerie was in the area. They were using the grounds at the tavern as a place to store some of their attractions, most notably a particularly ferocious Bengal tiger. And Hannah Twanoy was a 34-year-old barmaid that worked at this tavern, and apparently she got really bored at times, and as a distraction, she loved to harass this tiger. Sammy, do you think tigers are a good animal to pester and harass?
It's a good question, Wes.
Another zinger.
Another really tricky
Another
one. Yeah.
softball for Sammy.
I'm gonna go with no. I think it.
Yeah, yes or no.
You're right. Again, you're right. Wow.
Wow.
2 out of 2.
Oh gosh.
You are right. It's a really bad idea. I can't believe Mike and Jeff are giving me shit for asking questions, because every episode they'll be like, hey, Jeff, what do you think about football? All right.
That's a good
Yeah,
That's a good question. I want to hear the answer.
It's a really bad idea to harass a captive tiger. Anyone that's listened to our show extensively has probably listened to our first available episode. They would know how poorly it can go. We talk about some kids in a zoo that harassed a tiger, and it was so determined to get them that it did get out, and it killed
Tatiana.
one of them. Yeah, Tatiana, the Moor tiger. Apparently, the guy that owned this tiger kept telling Hannah to stop, but she just had to get that fix. Just
Hannah,
had to harass that
come on.
tiger.
Nothing else.
Finally,
to do.
this big cat got so enraged that it managed to break out of its enclosure, and it made a beeline for Hannah, grabbing her by the dress, pulling her to the ground, and then tearing her to ribbons. She would be the first person to get killed by a tiger in Great Britain, and a silver lining was that she would get a headstone because her death was so strange. Because at the time, people that didn't have like a certain class or money or whatever, they generally weren't given headstones. And her headstone was actually engraved with a poem, which I'm going to read for you guys. In bloom of life, she snatched from hence. She had not room to make defense. For tiger fierce took life away, and here she lies in a bed of clay until the resurrection day.
Oh, that's kind of
Which is
sick.
great.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's why they gave her the headstone. They just thought of the rhyme first.
Yeah.
And they were like, this is too good.
Yeah, the
This
local,
rhyme is fire.
whoever does it's like, I got some bars actually. That's. I wonder
All
what
right.
I want. I need to plan out what I'm gonna have on my headstone. Have you guys thought about that at all? Like what? No,
I don't want a headstone, I don't think.
you're not.
I just want to
yeah.
be cremated and dispersed.
I want it just to be like, here's this guy who now is dead.
That's
Come
good.
on.
I mean, sounds like Hannah didn't get to pick hers. Maybe I'll just let someone else riff. Sounds like they had
Yeah.
a good time.
Mm.
Some British poet.
A poem
Yeah.
would be cool.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I want on my headstone is because they always give the dates which you lived and died by. So it'd be like
Mhm.
1988 to like 2500. That'd be sick if I lived that long.
Mhm.
All right. So that's story number 2. I hope you guys can keep these all in your heads. All right.
Can
What's
you,
your
like,
what's
just make up on your headstone how you died? Could I say like, here lies Jeff Larson. He was bitten by a zombie and then killed
Probably.
by his tribe of people because they didn't want to get infected.
I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who's gonna stop you? I feel like
The headstone police.
Give it a
All right.
try.
It might have laws against it. Arrest me.
Did you see
All
that
right.
episode of Sorry, Nathan for
No,
You?
you're good. Yeah.
Where he helps a woman with like a pet adoption place by buying a headstone at a pet cemetery and being like, get your next pet by going to this pet adoption place.
I
And
think I
the
missed
people
that
at the
one.
pet cemetery get really upset. So there is known to be some pushback at a cemetery based on what's on the headstones. now
And
that I
if they
think
get
about
upset
it.
with Mike, he'll lose his shit. That's
Oh,
the problem too.
Oh, I'll be so mad.
For us, our pets are some of the most important members of our family, and our dog is really just kind of the sun that everything revolves around. We both get so excited to see her in the morning. She's just so happy and just like a source of pure joy for both of us. So I definitely want the absolute best for my dog, and that's why we switched to Ollie. They offer fresh, protein-packed meals with real human-grade ingredients, which is a big win for my dog's health, and they offer 5 tasty recipes that are all slow-cooked for top nutrition. And that makes your dog really happy too. You know, you don't just want to give your dog natural, healthy food, but you want to give them food that they're really going to like. And our dog loves Ollie. And that's because they have human grade recipes backed by vet nutritionists and that are crafted with culinary experts. Dogs love the taste. Even the pickiest eaters will show more excitement during mealtime. And the Ollie app actually offers on-demand health screenings where you can tap real experts for peace of mind for your dog. It uses data from the Ollie pack to develop new recipes and products for your dog. For us, it's just been night and day feeding our dog good natural food like Ollie. She just seems happier. She has a shinier coat. She's excited to eat her meal every single time, which is just such a good feeling for us. And your dog's well-being starts with their food. That's why Ollie delivers fresh, human-grade food that your dog will love. Head to ollie.com/tooth, tell them all about your dog, and use code TOOTH to get 60% off your welcome kit when you subscribe today. Plus, they offer a happiness guarantee on the first box. So if you're not completely satisfied, you'll get your money back. That's ollie.com/tooth and enter code TOOTH to get 60% off your first box.
All right. Mike, what's your favorite scene in Return of the King? Or at least your favorite when you first saw it in theaters?
Oh, it was when Sam faced down Sheila, of course.
Okay. That's not the
Triumphant.
answer I wanted. I'm going to keep going until I get it. Jeff, what
Okay.
was your favorite scene?
I like when they finish that little bit of water and then they fall over and then it like turns into a painting.
All right, I'm not. That's definitely not what I was looking for.
You're not going to get it over
Sammy?
here, Wes.
Okay,
Nope.
all right. I think a lot of people's favorite scene when they first saw that movie is kind of a silly one now, but it's where Legolas kills the Oliphant, where he like runs up on top of it, shoots the arrows into its head, slides down its trunk, and lands. When I first saw that movie, I loved that scene. Yeah, it was a great scene.
It's a crowd pleaser. Yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, that's not even top 10, dude.
All right. It's also a great scene.
It only counted as one.
That's also the part where Eomer?
Éomer.
What's his? Éomer. Yeah, Éomer throws the
He
spear
killed like
and
10 people.
Éomer throws the spear and kills the guy that's riding the Oliphant, and he steers it into the other one, and they both die. Also a great scene. Well, that pretty much happened in 162 BC, but with some slight key differences that we're going to get into. This was a time when the Greek Empire was spreading, and a group of Jewish rebels named the Maccabees were fighting against the Greeks. And their battles were being led by Judas Maccabeus, but these Jews were fighting against some really steep odds. You see, the Greek army had a lot of infantry, they had a lot of cavalry, and then they had 80 war elephants. So war elephants are exactly what you're picturing. They're big elephants that were decked out in armor and that soldiers would ride to fight enemy troops.
Wow, they ride on them?
Mm-hmm. So when the Maccabees first encountered these elephants, they were pretty intimidated, and their troops began to flee. So the brave brother of Judas Maccabeus, who was named Eleazar Avaran, decided to prove that these elephants were not invincible. He rallied his men, and then in a heroic act of bravery, he charges headfirst towards the nearest war elephant, flings himself under the huge animal, and stabs his sword upward into the belly. Also kind of like Lord of the Rings with Shelob. Here's where the story differs a little bit from Lord of the Rings. The real-life war elephant proceeded to immediately stomp him into oblivion in front of his horrified men, killing him instantly. So his charge did not have the intended effect, and the Maccabees would retreat, and they would go on to lose this battle against the Greeks.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Do you think he got like covered in elephant guts and stuff too while that was like did he slice open the belly and then
at least some blood? Yeah.
Probably
I mean, it wasn't a good
came
death, but it was quick.
It'll be quick, yeah.
But really embarrassing.
Yeah, if there's one thing I had to guess about being stomped by elephants, I think it would be quick.
It's quite quick, yeah.
That's crazy we don't still like do that in the military.
Have war elephants?
Yeah.
No way, dude. The second Punic Wars.
It works.
We know Hannibal, he tried to use elephants. That didn't work. It was to poor effect.
There was actually, after these battles, there was actually like a resolution drafted that they couldn't use elephants anymore.
Like
No
it's
more
just cheating.
Yet they were like it was too effective and scary. Yeah.
Too effective.
Which is pretty wild. Yeah.
Wow.
All right. So Eleazar, his brother, is our next death. So keep that one in mind. All right. Do any of you know what a boomslang is?
What Ash uses in Evil Dead? Just kidding. That's boomstick.
Boomstick. Close.
Boomslang.
Boomslang.
Pokemon?
Not a Pokemon. Jeff, do you have a guess?
Is it kind of like what David used to kill Goliath?
Also not. But
Slang.
Close. It's not.
A slang shot.
It's a snake.
That's what I
A snake.
Oh.
It's a snake. It's a particularly venomous rear fang snake from Africa. They're green, they're beautiful, and there's a reason that rear fang snakes are often a little bit less feared among venomous snakes, and that's because they really have to bite you to deliver their venom load. So because of that, they'll often deliver a dry bite, or they just like won't really bite you hard enough to really inject any venom. If you're a Survivor fan, you probably recently saw a guy get bit on Survivor by a rear fang snake, and it didn't deliver any venom. So that is common among these snakes, and because of that, in the 1950s, when herpetologists were working with rear fang snakes, they kind of were a little bit more careless with them. They thought that maybe they weren't that dangerous. We're still learning a lot about venomous snakes, and that's kind of the background to this next story.
Well, you just said they're not as dangerous.
They are. It's just you. Okay. You're right. They're not as dangerous,
Oh, he
but they
got you,
deserve
dude.
as much. They deserve as much respect as any other venomous snake,
okay.
and they are highly
They can
venomous.
get you pretty good still.
You
Yeah,
just got to
you
get
just-
like a full mouth bite in order.
they
for
have
it
to get a
be-
good bite on you. Yeah.
Can vampires dry bite? Sam,
Uh,
you've seen vampires do their stuff, probably, right?
Mm,
They have to be able to bite without turning, right?
I think
Turning
so.
someone?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like that's
think
pretty
so.
common vampire lore that they have to like, because a lot of vampire movies, you have to drink their blood to get turned.
Get
Right.
yeah, like Lil Jon.
Thank you.
In a vampire movie. Yeah.
And
Oh, he'd be
Sammy,
a great
how do you
vampire.
think a rear-fanged snake bites someone?
Shut up. With its mouth.
With
Good
its
job,
whole
Sammy.
mouth.
All right. So the most famous victim of the boomslang was unfortunately someone who knew very much about them and knew much better than to be careless. And that was Dr. Carl P. Schmidt of the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago. He's a herpetology legend. He really advanced the science in a long way during his life, but we're actually going to be talking about his death. So in September of 1957, a colleague sent him a live snake that he was having trouble identifying. Schmidt almost immediately recognized it as probably being a boomslang, but one that was quite young and therefore didn't have some of its more noticeable characteristics. Because this is a rear-fanged snake, and because it was a younger specimen, he wasn't very careful when he was handling the snake, and it bit him on the thumb. This is where the story gets a little bit more interesting and why I decided to include it, because he's a scientist, he's obsessed with snakes. So what does he do? He decides to create this journal of every symptom that he feels during this process of being bitten by this boomslang. Yeah, so he kind of journals his own death.
Like Coyote Peterson, kind of, back in the
Yeah, this is, I guess, in a way,
I think
this
everyone
is the
that keeps a journal
genesis of that.
in a way is eventually will have journaled their own death, kind of.
Yeah, that's true,
I thought you were going to say is
in a way.
Interesting.
copying Coyote Peterson.
He's not copying All right. So he really didn't have that much information about the effects of boomslang venom, and he really wanted to document it. And so what we end up with is this diary of someone being killed by a gnarly kind of snake venom that makes you uncontrollably bleed from your mucous membranes.
Oof.
So at about 4:30 p.m., he says he has strong nausea but no vomiting as he takes the train to his house. At 5:30 p.m., he starts to feel a strong chill and a fever, and his body temperature is over 101 degrees, but more concerningly, his gums start to bleed profusely. At 8:30 p.m., he eats 2 pieces of milk toast, which is disgusting, and I just wanted to include that. Do you guys know what
Our
milk
cousins
toast
would
is?
eat that.
No,
Yeah.
I don't actually.
You just make toast and put it in like warm milk and then eat it. Like the sloppy toast. Yeah.
Why even
Brent
toast it?
eats it, Mike.
I know, exactly.
That's a good
Our
question,
cousin
actually,
didn't
Sammy.
toast it. He would just put like
Well,
Yeah.
that
white
makes a little
bread
more
and milk.
sense. Milk
Oh.
bread, but the milk is negating the
With
toast
jam.
part.
Yeah. That's like the Joey Chestnut move with the hot
Well,
dog
maybe
buns.
it's like croutons. at
Yeah,
that
just
point,
kinda like-
Yeah, soggy.
Yeah.
Just like a soggy crunch.
Soggy crunch. Yeah.
All right.
Which we
I'm
all
back-
So
I'm
like
back-
a-
I'm back on
yeah.
board.
That's basically cereal at that point.
Yeah. All right. He falls asleep at 9 p.m. and he actually sleeps pretty well until 12:20 a.m. At 12:20 a.m., he gets up to pee and he remarks that his pee is almost all blood. But he goes back to sleep. At 4:30 a.m., he wakes back up.
Is he just like resigned to dying? At
No,
this?
he
Or
thinks
he
that
thinks
this
it's
is
gonna
like
pass?
he thinks this is just kind of a mildly venomous rear-fang snake that's not going to do much to him. He has no idea what he's in store for. All right. So at 4:30 a.m., he wakes up to drink some water and he immediately vomits up all of his milk toast. Ugh.
No,
That,
damn
don't you
shit.
hate that? Isn't that the worst?
Same
right.
texture coming back up.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what's milk and what's toast at that point. Then he feels better and he falls back asleep until 6:30 a.m. At 6:30 a.m., his temperatures come back down a bit, so he's feeling like he's kind of out of the woods. He eats breakfast and then he goes to pee again, and now it's like an ounce of blood. It's just blood now. There's no urine whatsoever.
Oh,
His
wow.
gums start bleeding again and his nose starts bleeding, but not excessively, just kind of a slow leak. He decides not to go to work And around lunch that day, he starts vomiting uncontrollably, calls his wife, and then when he's found by emergency personnel not long after, he's soaked in sweat, he's nonverbal, and he's profusely bleeding from his eyes. And then when they later do an autopsy on him, his kidneys, his lungs, his heart, and his brain were also all profusely bleeding.
Oof.
He's rushed to the hospital, but he's pronounced dead on arrival. Boomslangs and rear-fang snakes are now much more respected than they were at the time.
Not to get ahead of ourselves, but this one's pretty bad. This one's pretty bad. I'm keeping this one in mind.
This is a dark horse for your top three.
For later, yeah.
Okay. Just you wait for the real bad one.
Yeah, there's 3 more, right? So who can say?
Yeah.
What he would have wrote if he had like one more paragraph he could have wrote in his journal at the very
He's
end.
like, this is actually quite bad. I
There
do
were
regret this.
full of blood.
There were no
Eyes
doctors
bleeding.
around that he wanted to tell any riddles to.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
No.
Well, apparently, and I don't know if this is true or not, but like toward the end of this, when the doctors arrived, he still refused help because he felt like at this point, just knowing what happens was more important than him like being saved
Oh, wow.
or whatever. Yeah.
True
Noble.
scientist.
Yeah. All right.
Did they
I wouldn't
have
do that.
anti-venom?
I also would not do that.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think they had anti-venom at this point, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
So they would have had to suck it out the old-fashioned way.
He did try to suck it out immediately when the snake first bit him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah.
Idiot.
You're peeing blood. That's not good. Sheesh.
All right.
This episode is brought to you by Miracle Made. You ever wake up sweaty, freezing, or just uncomfortable? The temperature in your bedroom can make or break your sleep. That's why I switched to Miracle Made sheets. They're inspired by NASA technology and use silver-infused temperature-regulating fabric to help you sleep perfectly all night long. I've been on a bit of a health kick lately, and the one thing that's a constant, I see everybody talking about it, from the bro scientists to the actual real scientists, is that sleep is critical to recovery, to health, to basically everything good. I can tell you from personal experience, I was never less healthy than when I wasn't sleeping at night. I was working a night shift job, and the moment I switched to my day shift and I was sleeping through the night, I immediately became noticeably healthier. I lost a ton of weight, I felt better, and I credit that to sleeping well at night. And I've never slept better than when I switched to Miracle Made. These sheets help keep you in the comfort zone all night long. So upgrade your sleep or give the gift of better rest. Go to trymiracle.com/tooth to try Miracle Made sheets today. You'll save over 40%, and when you use promo code TOOTH, you'll get an extra 20% off plus a free 3-piece towel set. They make an amazing gift, and with a 30-day money-back guarantee, there's no risk. That's trymiracle.com/tooth. Code TOOTH at checkout. Thanks to Miracle Made for sponsoring this episode.
As you guys well know by now, I have ADHD. It's a little hard for me to keep organized, especially with my finances. That's why I love having Rocket Money so much, because it's so easy, it's so convenient. The information is presented in graphics, which is really helpful to me. And I always end up with a lot of unwanted subscriptions. And thanks to Rocket Money, I can find them, and I can either cancel it through them or reach out and cancel it myself. I wonder how many people have signed up for the Tooth and Claw subscription, stopped listening to us, and are still just paying us every single month. And I hope they don't hear this. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you find and cancel your unwanted subscription, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your saving. Rocket Money has saved users over $2.5 billion, including $880 million in canceled subscriptions alone. I'm part of that too. And their 10 million members save up to $740 a year when they use all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/claw today. That's rocketmoney.com/claw, rocketmoney.com/claw.
Okay, our next one's the really bad one. So
Great.
I didn't want to do this one. And Jeff, you may recall that in the early days of our podcast, you did an episode on ancient execution methods involving animals. And we actually, We sat on it for a while.
You were like, we can't put this one
Yeah.
out. And then 1 week we just didn't have an episode. And we were like,
Well,
we can do Jeff's animal
God.
Jeff's
deaths
terrible episode. Yeah.
Ancient execution methods in general, really bad. I'm not aware of the animal version one, so yeah, this should be.
They're not good. I found another one. It's really gross. So gross, in fact, that there's debate whether or not it was actually used. But the depictions of it are so detailed, and there are a few like historians from those times that included these depictions that I do tend to think this was used. So have you guys ever heard of the term of scaphism?
yeah, I have.
No.
Nope.
Okay. Scaphism's pretty bad.
It's pretty sweet.
A soldier named Mithridates is said to have been killed using escapism in the Persian Empire in about 500 BC, and his story is actually pretty tragic. So this soldier, he heard that Cyrus the Younger, the brother of the king Artaxerxes II, was plotting to kill the king. So this guy hears that the king's brother is trying to kill the king, and he decides to kill the king's brother. The king is grateful, and he tells this soldier not to tell anyone, because he wants to take credit for killing his treacherous brother. And Mithridates says, Mithridates, I'm going to say Mithridates, that's probably wrong, but that's how it's spelled, says that he's not going to tell
Jeff
anyone.
talked about this guy.
Really?
Sorry. Yeah. I remember us talking about Mithridates and scaphism, but it doesn't matter.
Okay. All right. So I'm doing it again. 2 episodes
It's
in
fine.
a row.
It's new
I'm
to me. It's new
repeating
to me.
stories. Yeah. Okay. All right. So we may have talked about this before in Jeff's episode. I'm not sure. But anyway.
We'll leave Mike saying that, I think.
Mithridates says that he's not going to tell anyone. The king says, I want to take credit for killing my brother. And Mithridates is like, fine. You know what? That's cool with me. No big deal. Then he gets drunk and he starts boasting about how he killed Cyrus. And the king hears about this and he's pissed. And it's making him look like an idiot. So he says, you know what? We're going to do scaphism. We're going to kill Mithridates with scaphism. So what scaphism is essentially you take the person and you put them in a small boat. There are holes cut for their head, their arms, and their legs. Then you put another boat that looks the exact same on top of that person. So both of the holes of the boat are pointing outward. Sammy, what's the hole of a boat? We talked about this
Wait.
on the episode I did on your
This one's
show.
gonna stump me.
Yeah.
And this is actually a tricky one.
Yeah, I've no.
The
idea.
hole is the bottom. It's like the keel of the boat
Oh,
and the
hull,
hole of the
hull.
boat. Yeah,
I
the
thought you were
hole.
saying hole,
Yep.
like
No, sorry, you knew this. We talked
Oh.
about this on
the hole's the bottom.
Too Scary
Obviously,
Didn't Watch.
yeah. I knew. I would have known.
So basically, this person looks like
Braxton
they're like
just edited it to make Sammy seem smart. Right there. Thanks.
This person looks like they're in a beetle suit, where their head is sticking out of like 2 boats, their arms are sticking out, and their feet are sticking out. But that's it. Okay. Once they do that, they nail these boats together, and then they do something pretty terrible. And I don't really want to describe this in my own words, so I'm going to quote a 12th century
you can just
historian.
play when I said it.
When
then.
Jeff said this a long time ago. All right. Next, they pour a mixture of milk and honey into the wretched man's mouth till he is filled to the point of nausea, smearing his face, feet, and arms with the same mixture, and so leave him exposed to the sun. This was repeated every day, the effect being that flies, wasps, and bees, attracted by the sweetness, settle on his face and all such parts of him as project outside the boats, and miserably torment and sting the wretched man. Moreover, his belly, distended as it is with milk and honey, throws off liquid excrements, diarrhea, and these putrefying breeds of swarms of worms, intestinal, and all sorts. Thus, the victim lying in the boats, his flesh rotting away in his own filth and devoured by worms, dies a lingering and horrible death.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, that one's bad.
Candyman wouldn't have even cared. He would have been like, "This is actually kind of cool. All these bees." Or Winnie
That's
the
true.
Pooh.
He does
Winnie the
love
Pooh would have
bees.
been stoked about this punishment, just
Milk
getting
and
rubbed
honey.
down with honey. Yeah.
Their outside limbs are eaten by all these insects on the outside, and then on the inside, like maggots and worms and everything are eating them on the inside of this boat because they're purposely making them shit themselves.
What do we think is like the actual ultimate cause of death?
It is, according to these historians, it's being eaten alive by worms, like maggots and stuff.
Really?
It's not like dehydration after a couple days.
No,
or
because
something?
they would
That's what I would've
purposely
guessed.
keep them
Oh, okay.
alive by giving them more milk and honey.
Well, yeah,
and
the
like,
milk and honey,
yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
reloading the diarrhea.
yeah,
That's too bad.
It's a terrible way to die, and it's
They were
said
so
that
inventive back then. They
I know.
really did a lot of
I know
so many steps to these.
I wonder, like, what point he proved too. It's like, okay, so obviously that guy killed his brother. He's like pissed
Right.
about him saying that.
Right. Yeah. And that guy
This-
saved his life. You know,
Right.
that's the worst
Should've
part of it
went
for
with
me.
his brother.
Yeah.
This seems like one of those methods of execution where it's like, actually, did you know in Minnesota it's still allowed to be put to death by scaphism?
Yeah, right.
You know?
Right. They haven't technically outlawed
Right.
it yet. So
Yeah.
Well, and
Oh,
I just
let's
like
go,
how-
Minnesota.
I remember telling that part. I think you
Okay.
did a good job telling like the more backstory behind it.
I
Like,
didn't
don't
remember
think I
that.
got the whole
Yeah.
betrayal talking about it thing. But I just like how you went from we can't put that out to we have to put that out twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. All right.
Make
We've been
sure
doing this for
everyone
a
hears
while
this.
now. Okay. So he apparently he suffered for 17 days in the boats before he finally died,
Wow.
which shows him to save the king. All right, this next one's a little spooky as well. It might trigger some particular fears in some of our listeners. So if you're very terrified of rodents, you might want to skip this one if you have like an irrational fear of rodents, but it's a good one. In 1875, the Manchester Evening News reported on a death that happened at a South London factory. A woman was working at a table when suddenly she shrieked because a small mouse had ran onto the table and scared her. A nearby man who was working in the factory ran to help this woman. He grabbed this skittering rodent in an act of gallantry, and a shining moment quickly turned sour when this mouse ran up his sleeve, and when he opened his mouth to gasp, it ran into his mouth and disappeared down his throat.
Oh no way. I guess it kind of looks like those little mouse holes in like the walls.
Yeah,
The
like
mouth.
a Tom and Jerry mouse
Yeah.
hole.
Where was this happening?
This is in South London.
His mouth.
Oh, I was going to say. Yeah. He had some cheese in there or something.
Apparently, at the time, there was some discussion whether or not a mouse could kill you by running into your mouth. And the Manchester Evening News reported that day that a mouse can exist for a considerable time without much air has long been a popular belief, and was unfortunately proved to be fact in the present instance, for the mouse began to tear and bite inside the man's throat and chest, and the result was that the unfortunate fellow died after a little time in horrible agony.
What the heck?
Oof.
Yeah.
That happens in Terrifier 3. And something
Really?
else. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm
Um,
telling this one again, too?
But it happens in another one too where they're like,
well, it kind of
forced-
happens in Too Fast, Too
Furious.
Furious,
oh my
Oh,
god.
Oh, yeah.
which is like a terrible movie, and then all of a sudden just has like the coolest,
worst
most
torture
intense scene with a rat.
Well, the new Batman movie, too, where he puts the
Mm.
rat cage on the guy's head, the newest
Mm.
Batman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's bad.
I love
bad way
rats,
to
but
die.
I wouldn't want to be killed by rats. Yeah. I
No.
don't think.
No,
just
we
think
have
they
yet
did
to
it
do
in
our rat episode, but
the book 1984 too. That's like one of the ways
Okay.
they
I think
Get
it
me,
happened.
all right.
people.
Well, this happened in real life.
Stuart
Solid
Little
Brother.
2, I think it happened. So wait, Terrifier 3. Art the Clown, it seems like he wants to be the guy killing everyone. So does he just let these mice have one of his victims? Or
Well,
is it like a rivalry?
No, he like builds a contraption that it's like a long tube that he shoves down a woman's throat and then has the rats crawl into it as he does his little silent laughing, like hee hee hee.
Yeah, I think he deserves credit for that. Not
It's a
the
te-
rats.
it's a team effort.
What if the woman was like, "No, the rats! Help me,
Yeah.
Art."
At least it was an old woman.
Yeah. Wait, it was an old woman?
I don't think she's that old.
Well, I'm just making that up then. Sorry.
All right. In his mind, he's just picturing an old woman. Okay.
you were hoping.
Oh gosh.
Speaking of old women, how scary do you guys think mummies are on a scale of 1 to 10? Mummies.
So mummies are weird because they're real, right?
Right. So like a scary mummy though.
So that gets some points too, just
Hmm.
right off the bat.
but they're like tiny, right?
For me, it's like
Actually.
a 4.
They're all shriveled. Raisins. They do kind of look
Mm.
like the California raisin men. They're all just like,
They're kind of just a zombie, but like they're one with special powers. You
but
know?
like dressed modestly, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, I feel like they're not that scary just because they don't seem very realistic or possible.
Yeah.
But like if it was like actual mummies,
Right.
they'd be like top scariest.
I was
thing.
going to say, yeah, I'm not like worried about them in my day to day, but if I'm putting myself in the headspace of being in a place with a mummy with supernatural powers, then yeah, we're pushing 10 there.
Okay, that's true. They can do like plagues and stuff. Well, for me, their curses are much scarier than the actual mummy. I think that's what you guys are saying too. And one of the most famous examples of a potential mummy curse happened to George Herbert, their 5th Earl of Carnarvon. And Sammy, there's something you hate even more than mummies
Oh
that's
my
in this
God.
story.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, don't tell me.
Earls.
All right. So Lord Carnarvon was a rich dude in the early 1900s England who, like a lot of rich dudes, had the time and the money to do some pretty extreme hobbies. He really liked horse racing and he got super involved in that. And then with the advent of the motor car, he got really into motor car racing. He was a keen motor car driver, but in 1903, he suffered a serious accident in Germany and he never fully recovered.
You think like Seabiscuit back then would have dominated? Would it be like
Seabiscuit?
Michael Jordan playing in like those early basketball videos, just putting like
Oh.
Seabiscuit out in those horse races?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
probably. Wasn't Seabiscuit back then? Wasn't Seabiscuit in like the early 1900s? Or was
I have
Seabiscuit
no
more?
idea.
No,
don't
I
know
thought
either.
it was recent.
Okay. I don't know.
Tobey
I'm not up to date
Maguire
on my
rode in.
racing horses. Yeah, I don't think that was
The
the
movie
real
was
Tobey
recent.
Maguire. Okay. Basically, he got hurt in a motor car accident. His doctor said, hey, no more motor cars, time for a new hobby. And from then on, he and his wife, Lady Carnarvon, decided to spend their winters in Egypt. And there he became a very enthusiastic amateur Egyptologist. We've all went through our Egypt phase. This guy just never got out of his. And he was actually like trading in antiquities and digging for things. He got really into it. So he started excavating tombs of nobles near Thebes, Egypt, and he employed British archaeologist Howard Carter to help him. And their main goal, and pretty much the main goal of every Egyptologist at the time, was to find the fabled tomb of the boy king Tutankhamun, or King Tut. He was one of the most ancient pharaohs, or one of the most famous ancient pharaohs, and he was thought to have died of malaria at the tender age of 18. Let's put a pin in that malaria death, okay? All right. In 1914, Carnarvon got permission to dig in the Valley of Kings, which to me seems like the right place to dig if you're looking for King Tut. His work was interrupted by World War I, and then he resumed in 1917. But in 1922, they really hadn't found much, and Carnarvon, like most rich dudes again with a new hobby, was starting to get a little bored. So he said this would be the last year that he would dig, and in November of 1922, he got word that his team had found something exciting, a tomb that was still sealed, so it was still completely intact. He accompanied his daughter, Lady Evelyn Herbert. A quick little trivia here. Her name's Evelyn, and if you guys remember the movie The Mummy, Rachel Weisz's character is named Evelyn, and she's named after his daughter. This
Why did
is
you
kind
look
of
at
like
that?
a homage to this story.
Wow, they really did
All
their
right.
research.
Yeah. So they went to Egypt, and they arrived in November of 1922. They were both present the next day when the full extent of what they had discovered was revealed. And they saw that there was a seal containing King Tut's cartouche, which is like kind of his, I think like his mark, found on the outer doorway. And this door was removed, and there was a corridor behind that was cleared, and then there was the door to the tomb itself. So basically at this point, to open this tomb, what they needed to do to go down the proper steps was to get this like Egyptian authority to come and to be present as they opened this tomb, because there was likely to be artifacts inside that were, you know, the technically like the property of the Egyptian government. So they needed to have permission to actually enter this tomb, but they could see through a little like peephole. And Richard Carter, his archaeologist, was like, there's some wonderful things inside, pretty much. He got really stoked. So they secured the tomb, and it was to be entered the next day in presence of this Egyptian Department of Antiquities. But that night, Carter, his assistant, Lord Carnarvon, and Lady Evelyn made an unauthorized visit to the tomb, becoming the first people in modern times to enter the tomb of King Tut.
Uh-oh.
Some people even think they entered the inner burial chamber.
Can't do that.
Yeah, shouldn't have done that, in my
There's curses
opinion.
in there.
Yep. All right.
At least one.
So then they take part in the official opening of the tomb, and they're probably like, whoa, this is crazy.
Oh, it's
even
our
though they
first
knew
time
they-
here.
Yeah, exactly.
This is so crazy.
Wow, it really is King Tut's tomb. This is neat. All right. And later, the burial chamber wasn't opened. It was indeed full of thousands of the most spectacular treasures and artifacts that you could ever imagine. If you've ever been lucky enough to see these in a museum, they're absolutely spectacular.
I'm really excited to go to the Louvre and go see like the Napoleon's
jewels?
wife's crown. Yeah, I really am so
I
excited.
got bad
to go
news for you,
see-
Uh-oh,
buddy.
Jeff.
Yeah.
What?
Jeff's just been saving his whole life for his French jewels trip to the Louvre. Devastated. So the work to unearth the entire tomb and all the treasures was ongoing in March of 1923, when one day, without even noticing it, a tiny insect landed on Lord Carnarvon's cheek and inserted its tiny proboscis into his skin and drank his blood.
What?
This insect was, of course, a mosquito.
Mhm.
If you didn't notice it, how do we know?
We know, I'll get to it. It was much like the one
Did the mummy tell him?
that had probably given the malaria virus to King Tut thousands
The
of
same
years
one?
earlier.
Mummy mosquito?
Much like the one. Yeah, this was a
Wow.
mummy mosquito. That'd be cool.
All wrapped up.
And it had started a process of events that would kill this man who had broken the seal on King Tut's tomb.
I wonder
Sammy.
how much faster you'd become like mummified with mosquitoes in there.
A little bit. Oh, yeah. Like those scarab beetles in the mummy. Sammy, how do we feel about mosquitoes in general?
We despise them. We hate them. We want to CRISPR them out of existence. Personally,
Yeah.
Wes and
agree.
I are on differing ends of have different opinions about this, but I really hate them.
Yeah. I did read recently that there was some studies that people think if we got rid of mosquitoes, it wouldn't substantially impact any animal that feeds on mosquitoes. I tend to disagree with that. I have a
A
hard time
lot
with
of
that.
flies in the world.
What do
Yeah.
you think about CRISPRing them to not be able to bite?
I think it's cruel.
Mm.
Yeah.
No, you're not.
CRISPRing?
Cruelty to a mosquito?
Yeah.
Where do they
Yeah.
rank in your favorite animals all time?
Me? They're
Yeah.
probably like 4,000 or something. I don't like them. Like
Ooh,
they're
that's high.
annoying.
It's kind of high.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think there's like 5,000 species. Yeah. I don't like them. They're
I mean,
they're
I don't think
actually
I
they're
could
probably
name
my bottom
1,000.
10. Yeah. But I think they serve their purpose. Okay. And their
I-
purpose might be
I was thinking
Mummy's
about how
curses.
being like itchy forever would be
Yeah.
one of the worst things that could ever happen, and I'm curious if that's where this is going.
that's not what happened to this guy.
Itchy.
Itch to death.
Well, that's
Just
where
scratched all of his own skin off because he was so itchy. That'd be bad.
that's where at the start of the episode where Wes was saying like death's one of the scariest things. It's like I don't know, being itchy forever is
Oh,
scary.
yeah.
Sounds
Yep.
way worse. Yeah. Do you think that's why the mummies wrapped themselves so the mosquitoes can't get them?
Nice, great question.
Maybe. I mean it killed their guy, you know?
What happens if a mosquito bites you and you have, I don't know, something in your blood that's bad?
You got
Can you get 'em
just
that
where
way?
it bit him on the cheek. Sorry,
Wait, sorry, what was that, Mike?
I don't know. I was just
I interrupted.
like, what if you had
Okay.
like HIV or something? And I'm not trying to like be funny. Would that affect a mosquito? Or not really,
I
because
don't
they're
think so.
transmitting
No.
diseases
like
anyway.
the
Never
mosquito
mind.
gets HIV.
Yeah.
I don't think we transmit any diseases to mosquitoes.
Well, if you
It's
had
just the-
sex with a mosquito and you have
Okay.
HIV,
Great,
We're
great
getting
question. Great
down.
question.
Right. All right.
I'm not,
Not
trying
long-
to be funny.
Sammy's like, finally, I got the question I wanted. All right.
So I've been trying to get into shape, and I'm taking what I eat very seriously. So if you're serious about fueling your body with the best, look no further. ButcherBox has clean, high-quality protein without the junk. Whether you're lifting heavy weights or lifting laundry baskets, ButcherBox helps you stay on track. And I love that ButcherBox delivers over 100 premium protein choices straight to my door, including 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, pork raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. For nearly a decade, ButcherBox has led the industry with meat and seafood that's antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and independently verified. I got 2 big, delicious steaks, which I cooked perfectly, might I add. Always medium rare for me. And then their chicken strips were delicious. I mixed them in with some barbecue sauce. It was perfect. So I highly recommend whatever you end up getting, put a steak in there, get some chicken strips. As an exclusive offer, our listeners can get a free protein in every box for a year, plus $20 off your first box when you go to butcherbox.com/tooth. Go to butcherbox.com/tooth to get this limited time offer and free shipping always. That's butcherbox.com/tooth. And please don't forget to use our link so that they know that we sent you.
This episode is brought to you by Quince. As the weather cools, I'm swapping in the pieces that actually get the job done. Warm, durable, and built to last. And Quince delivers every time, with wardrobe staples that'll carry you through the season. Quince has the kind of fall staples that you'll actually want to wear on repeat, like 100% Mongolian cashmere for just $60, classic fit denim, and real leather and wool outerwear that looks sharp and holds up. I tell you what, I got this forest green Mongolian cashmere sweater. It's honestly the most comfortable piece of clothing that I own. I wear it literally everywhere. If there's a nice dinner I have to attend, throw it on over a collared shirt. If I want to stay warm in bed at night, throw it on. It's my pajamas all of a sudden. I probably shouldn't admit to wearing such a nice, classy piece to bed, but that's the kind of guy I've turned into these days. This cashmere is honestly ridiculously comfortable. I've got my eye on so many of their pieces at this point. I want one of their hats. I want some of these gloves. It's getting cold. I like my hands to be all warm when I'm driving in the winter. I gotta get a pair of those. Anyway, you get the idea. Layer up this fall with pieces that feel as good as they look. Go to quince.com/tooth for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. That's QUINCE.com/tooth. Free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/tooth.
Not long after getting this bite, Lord Carnarvon was shaving, and the raised itchy bump from the bite caught the edge of his razor, and he sliced into himself, cutting his face.
No.
A shaving cut is no cause for alarm. This is something that probably would have happened a lot back in the day with the straight edge razor. I don't know why I can't say razor.
It's a tough word.
But
Motorola razor.
unfortunately for Carnarvon, the car crash decades earlier had left his immune system weak and unable to cope with unfamiliar infections. And a terrible skin infection took hold around this cut, quickly poisoned his blood, and led to an inflammation in his lungs and then severe pneumonia. He died 2.5 weeks after being bit by this mosquito. So pretty quickly, this all progressed.
2.5 weeks is pretty quickly? I mean, are we feeling...
For an infection.
Are we feeling bad that whole time, though?
I think we're feeling pretty bad. He's got like a bad rash and an infection.
It's a lot longer than being stomped by an elephant.
That's true. I'm not saying this one's particularly bad. But newspapers around the world had a field day with the news. Reporters, as well as famous author Arthur Conan Doyle, were quick to say that this was probably an ancient curse that had claimed his life. And this is really kind of where the idea of a mummy's curse begins. This is kind of where that whole idea starts with this story. All right. So we've got our 7 deaths. I'm gonna go through them really quickly for you guys. We got covered in cow dung and eaten by dogs, killed by a tiger in a 1700s British tavern, with an ironic name. Let's not forget that, Jeff.
White lion.
Stomped to death embarrassingly by an elephant in front of all of your fellow soldiers and your best friends, bitten by a boomslang and chronicling your own death as you bleed through your eyes and your brain, scaphism after saving the king's life, a mouse down your throat that then bites your organs and tissues and whatnot, or the mummy's curse and a mosquito bite and cutting yourself. All right, so I want your top 3. Let's start with your third worst. First, we'll each do these in order. My third worst, I think, is the mouse down the throat.
My third worst is the freaking, what was that? The cow dung dogs.
All right,
Ooh,
cow
yeah.
dung and dogs.
If it's the dogs, that's what I was thinking for third.
Okay,
If
Mike's also
not-
going with cow dung and dogs.
Okay,
It is.
yeah, I'll just stick
That's
with
what
that
we're
one.
counting.
Okay.
Sammy?
I'm going mouse down the throat too. How many days of pain was that again?
It wasn't very long, a few
Not very
hours.
long. A few
but,
hours.
yeah.
All right. It's tied between that and the mummy curse, but I'm factoring in that you'd be seeing some cool shit when you're in the tombs and stuff. So
Yeah. It's probably
that
worth
one's
it.
kind of worth it.
Yeah.
So those two are tied for third for me.
Okay. And probably his next big hobby was going to be like racism or something, you know, an old guy in the 1900s.
Sure.
Okay.
Well, I mean, if he was cursed, he might not have gone to heaven.
That's true. He might be in mummy hell.
Right.
All right. My second worst is going to be the boomslang bite. I think bleeding out of your orifices and dying that way would be pretty terrible. So that's my second worst.
Wes, I think we're going to have the same three because how could
I hope
number
so.
one not be
Yeah, I'm
the same for all of us? Yeah, that's my number two as well. Bleeding out of the orifices sounds really bad.
Yeah.
don't know
The
what-
roller coaster too. Like
Yeah.
thinking you're okay. And
I was
going
going
to
to say kind of the lack of urgency is stressful for me as a listener to the tale. I think I would have reacted a little differently if it were me, and maybe it wouldn't have played out the same way. But
I tend to agree. Yeah.
that said, if it had to play out that way, that's my number two.
All right. Mike
I'm
and Jeff,
doing-
yeah, go ahead.
I'm doing the milk and honey in the boat for number two.
Scaphism, number
Wow.
two.
Scaphism.
Okay.
I like boats.
I like honey.
I like being on a boat.
Right.
The herpetologist guy would have been like, "Hey, can you put some toast in that milk instead of honey?"
Yeah.
All right, Mike, what's your number two?
Oh, I'm going elephant stomp. That's so embarrassing. All your friends
It's
just
absolutely
laughing at you.
humiliating. Yeah.
You know, for
Yeah.
the rest of their lives, they're just shaking their head and laughing.
And the
at
high
you.
and the low of it too, of being like, oh hell yeah, I f***ing
Yeah.
did it, and then like just
Right.
right back down to zero.
Right.
See, I kind of think that one's cool. I
It is
I
cool.
like that one.
It's
I
cool,
would-
and
dude,
then
it's
it
cringe.
sucks. Yeah. All right, me and Sammy said our number one. What's your guys' number one?
Oh, scaphism is like that's my most preferred one.
Mine's the
diarrhea.
mouse.
Like,
I don't like the mouse crawling down
The mouse in the throat.
Mouse
and
is
trying
bad.
to eat its way out.
yeah. I'm going scaphism number one, of course. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
All right. Okay. Well, those are the 7 deaths that you've never heard of before listening to this podcast. We've never talked about any of these things.
Which one's the best of those?
I think the best
Tiger.
one for me is the
Or elephant,
the
maybe.
elephant. Yeah,
The tiger, you kind of
Tiger.
go in history as a dick.
That's true.
that's true.
It's embarrassing as well.
There's been whole papers like written trying to disprove that it happened too, which is kind of annoying. If
Mm.
people are like, "Did this actually happen?" It's like, "Did you
Yeah.
read the poem?" You know?
Yeah, I'll take the elephant one. That was cool. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, yeah, you got trampled, but it's like, that's pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
Sent it, you know?
No.
Uh-huh.
way.
Yeah, it's legendary. Yeah.
If he had
You don't
lasted
think
more
so?
than like 1 second, if he had maybe dodge rolled out of the way of one stomp and then gotten taken out, it's like, okay,
See-
like he's making some moves at least.
I would say that if he didn't stab the elephant. If he like just ran up and got trampled right away, I'd be like, that's embarrassing.
I do think
But he
the
slid
elephant-
under it and
died.
stabbed it. So I kind of think he
It's a bad
actually
move.
did some stuff.
You got to do the Star Wars one where you have a rope and you run around the elephant's legs a bunch and trip it up.
Mhm.
Then I'm like,
Yeah, you'd look
Yes.
really stupid for like 10 seconds.
But then you
and
wouldn't have
then all of a sudden-
died.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Okay.
I think that's
well,
like,
we got our
yeah,
answers.
sure.
They're locked in. Let's get on to our categories. You guys ready?
Yep.
Okay. I want everyone to say a favorite death scene from a horror movie. One of your favorite death scenes from any horror movie.
Oh my gosh, how can you even pick?
Yeah, I forgot to send these to Mike and Jeff. So
I'll go.
you
I
think
can.
for a sec.
I can
Yeah.
go first.
Uh-huh.
The first one that comes to mind for me always, it's not that it's the greatest death scene of all time, but it was kind of the first one I saw that made me really go, whoa, this shit can be crazy. And that is in the movie You're Next, someone is killed by someone plugging a blender into the wall, taking off the glass blender part and slamming the blender blades down into the top of their skull and turning it on and blending their brains.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta
Yeah.
check that one out.
That's creative.
Pretty memorable. Yep.
Okay. My answer, I'll let Mike and Jeff think for a second more, is a movie that I hate, but I've watched it like 3 times, is Bone Tomahawk, where at the end these like kind of crazed zombie guys just grab a dude and split him in half. Like they just like, yeah.
Zombies.
Wes, I hate
Yeah.
to tell you, it's so much worse than that because first
Yeah,
they
what do they do?
scalp him and
That's
then
right.
they shove his scalp into his mouth and use a little like blade to hammer it to the back of his throat.
That's right. That's right.
And then they flip
Oh.
him upside down and use a
Yeah,
bone
rip him.
tomahawk to cut him
That's
in
right.
half.
That's
Oh,
what it is.
Dick first.
Yeah.
Not the penis.
It's so bad. I just remember I blocked some of that out. Thanks for reminding me, Sammy.
you're welcome.
But
Yeah.
I remember
You
that
can't
movie.
Blame us for reminding
Yeah.
you
For
about
like
this scene.
85% of that movie, it's kind
You
of like
brought it up.
Yeah, exactly.
it's kind of like a Western where like you're like, oh, these guys are on like a fun Western thing and there's maybe a horror element. And then all of a sudden it's just like, oh, this is the craziest horror movie
0
I've
to
ever seen.
100.
Yeah.
Quick.
Yeah,
I don't
that
want-
movie's
I want,
quite upsetting.
I
Yeah.
want Dick last is how I want to go.
Yeah. Also, because I think you'd die faster if we're starting at the brain, at the head.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be pretty
Yeah.
fast.
Right.
Okay. Mike
Dick,
and Jeff.
Dick first. I don't know.
I've got a couple that I'm having a hard time choosing between. I'm going to say Wes is going to be mad because anytime I bring up a movie older than 5 years
No
old,
one's
he
ever
gets
heard
pissed.
of.
Everyone's heard of the movie House, okay? 1977 Obayashi, a Japanese
Yeah.
film. There's a piano
Awesome.
scene. Piano chomps the girl playing it's great. It's one of the most just like really fun, funny movie. But my real answer is the first time I watched Psycho, I thought I had kind of had the whole movie spoiled for me. Everyone knows the shower scene. So like I got through that. I kind of know exactly how it was going to play out. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm through the worst of it. But then there's another death near the end of the film where it's this really weird vertical camera shot right down by the staircase. And it's almost like a jump scare where Norman, or his mom, we don't know anything at this point yet, but she pops out from one side and the guy's walking up the stairs. And it's just like this really abrupt collision at the top of the stairs. And then he like falls down, gets stabbed. It was just like, I was not expecting it. And I thought that like we were through the worst of it in the movie. And that scene just really, really got me. And it's lived in my brain ever since. It's really like
It's
an
a good
artfully
pick.
shot scene.
I'm having a hard time thinking of a good one.
Yeah.
The only thing I keep coming back to is Jack Nicholson in The Shining. Just
Oh,
when
yeah.
he gets lost in the maze, and then all of a sudden it goes to him, and he's just like frozen face.
Popsicle.
Yeah.
I have a runner up too that I wanted to say. The opening scene from Jaws is such a good death scene in a horror movie. You know, I think you can say that's a horror movie, but it's like so crazy that you don't know what's happening to her, but you know it's so bad. So that's one of my favorites as well.
Sammy, what's your relationship to the 1988 The Blob? You seen that?
I haven't seen it.
I
but
just saw it.
I play Framed. It's like a daily game where it shows
Yeah.
you frames of
Oh,
movies,
yeah.
and it was just The
I
Blob
play that.
a couple days ago, and it made me want to see it. So I haven't seen it. Should I?
Great.
Strong recommendation. I think from all three of us, right?
I went
Yeah.
to a bar like by myself the other day, and I
Uh-huh.
was just sitting there, and this guy next to me I could hardly hear, but he's like, "I hope you don't mind 1985. The Blob is on." I was like, "What?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I put it on," and I just like watched. Was planning on being there for like 10 minutes, and I ended up watching the whole movie, and it was
It's so
great.
good.
It's
The
so
phone
good.
booth one was really good.
The phone booth
Yeah.
is so it's all I bring
Mm.
it up just to say that there are a lot of really fun deaths and they're all practical. Like the practical effects of the
Is there
blob
a lot of
are really
lot of smushing?
a lot of
or is it
smushing and
like,
gushing
a
and
A lot of
warping
acid.
and
Yeah.
blobbing.
Me and that guy got real into conspiracy theories as we were watching The Blob. Just a random guy at the bar.
It makes sense. There's a lot of conspiratorial stuff going on in that movie.
I feel like in the Final Destination movies, there's a lot of smushing as well, and I do
There's
love
good deaths.
I do love
A
a smushing
smush.
death. In Final Destination 2, there's one where someone gets absolutely pancaked by a plate of glass that falls on
Oh yeah.
falls on top of him, just
Chef's
completely
kiss.
flattened.
The most recent one with the trash compactor.
Yep.
Smush.
Yep,
Oh, that's a good.
lots of
good.
smushing in those movies.
Because that always
Yeah.
stops in movies. You never get to see that, and we finally get to
finally.
see it. Yeah.
We did it.
We made it.
All right. I just want each of you to say a favorite thing about a favorite thing. It doesn't have to be your number one favorite thing about Halloween. You know, we got Halloween coming up. What's a favorite thing that you guys like about this season or the day itself? Whatever you want.
I like that it's a uniquely orange time of year. There's a lot of orange happening, and that's just not a color you see a lot of people dress up in or store shelves decorated with the color orange. It just seems to be like a couple of weeks you get a really distinct color, and then for the rest of the year people are kind of, we're not exhibiting orange as a species.
I
quite
think
as
it
much
sticks
as-
around for November here in the States. That's kind of a November
You're
color
right.
too.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
And I agree. I think that's a really great color, great part of this time of year.
Shout out orange,
Shout out
Yeah.
orange, yeah.
Go ahead, Sammy. You go next.
I mean, mine is going to be dressing up and seeing other people's costumes. I just moved to a house where I think for the first time in a long time I'm going to get trick-or-treaters, and I'm very
Nice.
excited seeing everybody's costumes. Some people really go all out. I try to go all out, but you have to really plan ahead if you've got
You do.
kind of a big costume in mind. And so
What's your costume?
this year,
Yeah.
it's you guys are getting the exclusive.
We can bleep
You don't have
this
to
out
tell
if
us
you
if
want.
you don't want to.
Yeah.
No, I'll tell you. I'm going to be Kirsch from Alien Earth. It's a very specific reference. I'm usually a man for Halloween. It just works out that way. But I'm doing it because I want to bleach my eyebrows. And
Oh, sweet.
it's the character played by Timothy Oliphant.
Yeah.
And it's part of a group costume with more Alien Earth references. So
That's great.
Nice.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Are you so deep in it? Are you like a seamstress at all? Are you like
No.
getting your hands dirty making stuff, or are you just
Well,
assembling?
last year I was a mosquito, and I did do some crafting for that. I did sew some legs and wings. It didn't
Mhm.
look good, but it got
Yeah.
the message across.
Wait, Jeff, what's your favorite thing about
I
Halloween
was thinking
season?
it'd be funny for like trick or treaters, where people have the buckets and it says like take one candy.
Yeah.
I was thinking it'd be funny to have just like a Pez dispenser and it's like just take one and they have to like open the Pez dispenser
They'd be
and take
so
the
pissed.
Pez out.
They'd be so
Uh,
mad.
That's a skip.
I
We skip those.
mean I would just say
I'll go and you can think
Yeah,
about
go
yours.
ahead.
For me, I've been thinking about this a lot because I feel like people's decorations have gotten like more elaborate and spooky and kind of like horrific. And I really like that we're like, whether or not you want to admit it, like the US was kind of founded on like Judeo-Christian beliefs. And that undercurrent is kind of always here if there's like a certain propriety that people have to have. And I love that in Halloween it just gets dropped and that people really embrace like horror,
Paganism.
and evil and paganism and all these
Gothic.
things that typically like are shocking to Americans. People are like proudly displaying, and we just kind of leave that all. Like you'll be walking in Home Depot and you see a really scary, horrific mask, and it's like, oh, that's crazy that that's just out and that people are all accepting this. And I really like it. So that's my favorite thing about Halloween is that everyone just kind of collectively is like, you know what, let's scare ourselves. Let's get kind of gross for a little bit.
My friend has a 2-year-old daughter who's really obsessed with babies. She has her little like baby dolls just to take care of the baby. And they went into a Halloween store, and apparently this year is big on like scary babies, and so there are a lot of babies with like nails in their faces, bleeding, and like eyes glowing, and they were really trying to keep her away from the scary babies. But eventually she saw them and she just laughed and laughed and
Really?
laughed. She loved them.
That's great. I love that.
I mean, my answer is just the same as Sammy's, honestly. Like, just seeing people dressed up in costumes is so fun. And like
It is fun.
at BYU, we'd sit on the wall and just watch people all day in their costumes. And like going to parties, pretty good chance you see a lot of cleavage from costumes. That was always sweet. What?
Nothing.
What?
It's true. Yeah. Let's not pretend
What's
like
the
that's not
lie?
like a key feature of Halloween for a lot of people.
You don't like
know?
that?
Okay.
I feel like girls
Yeah, I'm
like
just-
that
yeah,
too.
Sure. You know, I'm sorry that I judged you.
We all like cleavage, Jeff. We all like
All right.
Cleavage is fun sometimes. You know?
Sometimes.
You just said you don't like the Judeo-Christian
That's true. That's
thing
true.
over everything. I'm talking about cleavage. You're like,
I
you
know.
can't say that.
Well,
I
so
know,
Wes
I
turns
know.
into a Puritan.
And I know, and I just talked about like scaphism and all these terrible things. And I'm clutching my pearls at cleavage. All right, you're right. I'm being a hypocrite. Okay. Well, if you guys don't know this, Sammy is one of the 3 hosts of Too Scary Didn't Watch, which is a podcast all about horror movies. And Sammy is the horror movie fanatic out of the 3. And Henley and Emily don't really like scary movies, so Sammy will watch them and recap them for her friends. So Sammy's a bit of a horror movie expert. So I wanted to ask you, Sammy, 3 horror movies you've watched and that you recommend since we last had you on a year ago.
Funnily enough, one of the ones I was going to recommend was House, the movie that Mike brought up. So I'll table that one because you've already been recommended it. It's great. You
Please
should watch it.
everyone. Please.
Yeah.
I'm
It is
pleased.
good.
And this one's kind of for Mike. If I recall correctly, you are a Nicolas Cage fan?
Big time. Oh, yeah.
Have you seen Arcadian?
I haven't. No.
It's
I got to check it out.
It's not the like greatest horror movie I've ever seen. It's not reinventing the wheel or anything, but its monster/alien design is some of the weirdest, most unexpected I have ever seen. And I think some of the filmmaking is like very effectively creepy, and it did keep me on the edge of my seat. And Nicolas Cage is in it, and so that's always like a huge plus.
I
Love
liked
of my
it.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We almost watched this movie, Sammy, but our like
Mm.
terrible movie selection game that we use did not pick it. So we had to watch something else. But I was rooting for it pretty hard, and then I had to
Yeah.
watch it by myself.
I recommend it. I thought it was a pretty fun, kind of more of a like thrillery horror, but with just really, really impressive creature design, and also kind of like bonkers creature design. There's parts of it where it's almost funny because it's unlike anything you've seen before in a way that makes you kind of guffaw.
That is my lane entirely.
Yes.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
The description
pretty fun.
reminded me a little bit of the movie Frailty. I don't know if you're with Bill Paxton. He has like the 2 kids. One is
I-
kind of like a believer
Yes.
and one's more of like a non-believer. I don't know if that's much of it, but
I haven't seen Frailty in a long time, but it comes up a lot from our listeners, and I'd like to rewatch it. But yeah, Nicolas Cage plays a father with 2 sons. It's post-apocalyptic. They're living in a world where by day everything is a somewhat idyllic post-apocalyptic, like farming, doing all your normal stuff. But then at night, the monsters / probably aliens come out. That's not a spoiler. You don't really. It's never really explained, but
great. Arcadian.
Arcadian is on Hulu.
Let's go.
Second one I'll recommend as cheating because I didn't watch it since last time I was on, but I watched it a couple years ago, and I feel like I never have spoken to anybody else who's seen it, so I'm going for lesser known here. It's called Daniel Isn't Real. Wes, have you seen this one?
Is this the one with the Schwarzenegger
Patrick
kid?
It sure
Swayze
is.
I have
right?
seen this one. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's psychological horror, came out in 2019. 2 Nepo babies, Patrick Schwarzenegger and Miles Robbins, who is Tim Robbins' son.
Yeah. Yeah.
and Susan Sarandon's son. And also has Sasha Lane in it, who's really great. And this is one I went into knowing really nothing about it. And again, just had an unexpectedly good time. I thought the performances were very fun. If anybody has become a fan of Patrick Schwarzenegger since he was on White Lotus, I thought he was great in this, thought he was great in that.
Yeah, I like this one too. And
Yeah.
there was like some weird like cosmic horror elements in it.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Yeah,
That were unexpected.
I'd like to
Yeah.
rewatch it because I haven't actually seen it in a while, but I was just kind of thinking what I could recommend that might be
A little more under the radar.
A little more
Yeah.
under the radar. And then my last recommendation, Wes, I know you have seen this one, is Mads.
Yeah.
2024 French horror movie. Have you guys talked about this on the podcast before?
We haven't talked about it. Nope.
It's all done in one continuous take.
Oh,
It's so impressively crafted, and it's so stressful because of the fact, like, by the nature of the filmmaking style, it is just like nonstop continuous, and things just keep getting crazier and crazier. And it was one of those movies that by the end of it, I like was so drained because I was so stressed for so long that by the end I was just like, oh my God. So if you're in the mood to get pretty scared and stressed, which I often am, check out Mads. That one's on Shudder.
What's the title all about?
You know,
Mads?
I don't actually know. It's MAD and the S is capitalized. I don't know if it's means something different in French, but it's a great question
Yeah.
that I don't know.
All right.
It's kind of it's like in the zombie realm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Great. Thank you, Sammy. Appreciate that. And now I'm going to move on to a really quick question that I have for all three of you. Do you guys think Brendan Fraser or Rachel Weisz is hotter in The Mummy?
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
I was just thinking that with Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon. It's like, that's a pretty equal couple. I think this one
They
is
are
even
both
more
quite
equal.
hot.
Yeah.
Dang.
For me, it's Rachel Weisz.
It's gotta
like,
be
I remember
Rachel.
when I saw that, I was like, this is the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And Rachel, and she's still one of the most beautiful women
Yeah.
I've ever seen. That's not a dig at Brendan Fraser. He is still very hot. But The Mummy, yeah, that's peak for both of them.
Yeah.
It might be.
it's a hard one.
I mean,
It's a hard one.
I'd rather smooch Rachel if I'm being honest, you know.
Yeah.
So I gotta
we
go.
appreciate the honesty.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay.
Or you're
I mean,
welcome.
I
She's
don't
married
know.
to
I'll
Daniel
take-
Craig, right?
Brendan, then.
Okay. Our soul Brendan holdout.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he looks
Uh,
better in the whale, though.
Yeah.
Mm,
All right.
Hot
So-
take.
George of the Jungle, in my opinion.
He is hot in that. Encino Man, he's hot too.
Oh,
Link.
yeah.
Okay. Because I asked such terrible questions this whole episode, I am going. I cherry picked a lot of really good Halloween themed episodes from our listeners, and we're gonna go over a few more than normal on this
Questions?
episode. Yeah. Sorry. What did I say?
Episodes.
Episodes. Yeah. We are going to do their
Many
entire episodes. No questions. So we're starting with JGabs94. Their question was, "What's more terrifying, a bear with 8 legs or a bear-sized spider?"
Ooh.
For me, it's a spider. I think like a big spider is scarier than anything. And we kind of talked about how they would be like the number one predator on Earth if
What
there was
if-
big spiders. So me, it's the big spider.
Can I modify it a tiny bit?
Sure. There's no rules
The
here.
spider's bear sized, but it has 4 legs. And then the bear's bear sized, and it has.
has 8.
8 legs.
I like that. Yeah.
How much does that decrease its
I think 8
frighteningness?
legs is scary. I'd
That's
say the
I
bear.
know.
Yeah.
I think I might too.
Okay,
if
you're
I'm
picking
going
the
with
bear.
They
Jeff's
seem heavy
modification.
too.
Okay. Sammy, what's your answer?
Which one's scarier?
Yeah.
Um,
Bear-sized spider or bear with 8 legs?
I'm gonna go spider too, because they can like wrap you up.
Yeah. They could like jump across the like whole, they could jump acres in a single jump probably.
Yeah.
They'd just be super fast. Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay.
and they can still probably paralyze you, right? Can't some spiders like do it?
Yeah. I mean, it happened to
Mm.
Frodo, you know?
Yeah, that's what
All right.
I think a bear wouldn't be able to
That
move very
factual
well with
text.
8 legs either. I think you'd be able to like get away from it. Probably.
Yeah, would it be like Goro in Mortal Kombat, where
Mortal
it just kind
Kombat?
of like stands up and has all these legs?
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people
Maybe it
ask
has
this.
them on its back and it can like
They're just that
roll
roll
over,
immobilized.
Yeah.
keep moving.
Just rolls. Oh, that's
Cartwheels.
scary. That's scarier than the spider. Okay, a lot of people ask this, but this I'm gonna say Madison Mash 00 and everyone else said, what cryptid do you each believe the most in? And if none, which one do you wish was real? For me, it's skinwalkers. Skinwalkers are the one I believe in the most. But they're almost more like, I don't even know if I'd consider them a cryptid, but that's what I'm gonna say.
What's a skinwalker?
They're more, I think, like a lot of indigenous mythology, they're included, and you're not even really supposed to talk about them,
Oh.
Sammy.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
so I'm not going to, but look
Isn't
it
that
up.
convenient
Like,
for Wes,
yeah.
He doesn't
who's struggling
know
to
what
come
they
up
are.
with a good.
No,
yeah.
I do know, but I'm not going to talk about them in detail.
Gosh.
I'm just going to say they're the one I believe in the most.
Mm.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to even say what mine is.
Okay, then you shouldn't say
And
it, dude. Then don't say it.
Imagine a skinwalker in Fight Club. Like that'd be the
I'm not going
biggest
to.
secret of the world. You know,
Yeah.
no one would be able to talk about any of that.
I'm
Maybe
done.
like
I quit.
I do like a sea monster type thing, like Loch Ness
Like Loch
monster.
Ness?
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the one you believe in the most?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe in any of them.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
I also don't believe in any of them, but I think something in the ocean, or I
Could
guess Loch Ness
exist.
is lake,
The Meg.
but
Mm,
like mermaids, there's something down there. That's
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
what's the it's like a bear skunk in Florida. It pops up every once in a while or something like that. Have you ever heard of
Sure.
that? There's like a
I'm
swamp
sure they have it.
skunk thing.
Yeah.
I just see a lot of stories pop up. And Florida's second to the ocean, the place where something weird's got
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
weird is
happening,
going to come
you know?
out.
Actually,
Yeah.
I'd probably switch mine to vampires.
Okay.
Just like a really old pervert who bites people on the neck.
Yeah.
Seems realistic.
from Romania. All right. This one's from the Haley _. Would you ever perform or participate in a seance or use a Ouija board?
I have, and I would again.
Ooh, you would do it again. All right.
Who'd you talk to?
Whatever spirits are in the room, you just kind of open it.
Did you get any answers?
Oh, is that how it works?
I mean, I did this in like middle school. I
Yeah.
was pretty fond of my Ouija board, and I don't know. I guess I'm too confident about it now because I've played it a lot, so I'm not
Mm.
scared. I'm not scared of it.
Yeah. I did the mirror one. What was the one where you like say
Bloody
the
Mary?
woman's Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
And it
That one
freaked me out.
That one
actually.
scares me a little more. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'd do any of them, to be honest. I kind of just like don't want to open that up, even though it's probably fake. I just don't want to mess with it.
Yeah.
I'd do it if I don't have to like leave my house very far.
That's exactly what I was.
It's
If it was
more
like
just like,
But also, you
It's
don't want to
the
do it.
convenience.
You don't want to do it in your house though, because then
No, he
Oh,
doesn't.
yeah,
You don't
I'll do
want
it in my
Yeah.
house.
you
Yeah.
don't want to invite them
No.
in. Maybe right
I
outside.
want you to bring the board. I want everyone to bring some like finger foods and some snacks, like a little potluck. Let's make a whole night out of it. But I don't
the
want to waste my
convenience
night
thing.
driving
Got
into
it.
some like weird basement outside the city limits or something.
If there
Yeah, that's
is
true.
spirits floating around in my house too, it's like I might as well talk to them.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, I
Maybe it's like a sixth
I'm
sense.
in agreement here because I think if I am like going to a place where a seance is happening, that brings a level of validity to it or like professionalism to it that makes it scarier because I too am picturing it in my house. I'm picturing myself as a teenager in the bathroom with
Yeah.
the Ouija board, which feels pretty safe. But if I'm
Yeah.
going to the woods with practiced seance people, I might not do that.
What if it was at your house and all your friends were there and the ghost started saying something really embarrassing about you? Like it's like, stop jerking. And you're like, no.
Well, it's obviously fake. This is obviously all fake.
Let's just watch a
Be like,
movie.
what are you, my mom? What are you, my
All right.
bishop?
Next question. Holsgans and a lot of other people also asked this one. What is the scariest or spookiest animal call to hear at night while camping?
Oh, gotta be owl, right?
Owls are spooky. For me, it's coyotes.
Yeah.
Like the screaming
More
that
than a
coyotes
screamy
do.
one.
Yeah. Wolves are like haunting. Like a wolf howl is very like haunting and beautiful. Coyote like scream howls sound like evil to me, even though I don't think they're evil animals at all. Their howls sound very like sinister.
Or I just watched a movie with foxes at nighttime, and those also sound very scream-like.
Yeah.
And it's just, the not being able to tell if it's human or not is, I think, adds some scariness there.
We had a fox scream in our neighborhood once that me and Jesse both woke up and thought a woman was screaming, like in the road, and then we saw that it was a fox.
Scary.
That's a good answer.
Maybe like a lion roar.
Yeah,
I'd be pretty scared if I heard that. Yeah.
I was thinking along those same lines, like a T-Rex or something.
T-Rex.
Which is
All
just
right.
like a lion with
orca.
a koala, right?
Yeah,
That's
less
what they
fur.
used. Tiger,
If you
lion,
just
koala
heard
them.
mix.
A humpback whale outside of your window. Okay. Heck Haley and a lot of other people also asked this one. What would be the spookiest animal ghost?
Ooh.
I wouldn't want a dog ghost. I feel like they wouldn't leave you alone. They'd always like
Like you don't want an annoying
Yeah.
animal. You like gotta
Like
give
a-
them treats all the time.
right.
Yeah.
Maybe like a shark ghost in your pool in the backyard or something.
Shark ghost is where my mind went to.
Yeah.
Like
That'd
it would
be
just
sweet.
they're so beautiful to see swim around. It'd be cool just to have a shark swimming in and out of your room.
Right.
I think I'd be friends
That's
with
my
the shark
answer.
ghost.
Yeah. They'd
Yeah,
make a movie
Shark
called Shark
Ghost.
Ghost.
Is
Okay, we all agree.
is there a shark ghost
Probably.
movie? There probably
Almost
is.
certainly.
Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you think they have
Emily's-
to be in water?
I don't
know.
I don't think so.
My shark ghost can
So
go
what?
anywhere.
Our ghosts can go in the ocean as much as they
Sure.
want.
I think so because you don't have to breathe anymore.
Yeah.
Why don't we do that as much?
Why don't we just ask our ghosts what's at the bottom of the ocean?
Yeah,
That's a great
do a
question.
seance again real quick, Sammy.
You ever think of that, James Cameron?
We got to commune with the spirits.
We gotta whip out the Ouija board. Tell me what's at the bottom of the ocean. I know
How
you can go
true-
there. You don't need to
Yeah.
breathe anymore. Even if you haven't been,
How
go
true
now and come
is
back.
the Meg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
exactly.
true is the Meg?
Not true. Those billionaire ghosts. Those guys that blew up in that submarine are probably ghosts down there looking at the Titanic.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Mm.
All right, this one's from M. Liz Sullivan. For the third year in a row, what animal do you think would make the best zombie? For me, what I thought of, you guys are going to like this answer, a mosquito would make the best zombie because it would very easily pass around the zombie virus and you wouldn't even
True.
notice it. So
Would
for
they,
me, a
though?
mosquito would be a very effective zombie.
Because they like suck out of you.
But they also,
They don't like bite you.
but they throw up inside of you.
Mm.
Ugh.
That's what makes you
Yeah.
itch. So
Ooh.
mosquito for sure. for
I have
me.
a two. So my answer is a bee because the name would be funny. It'd be a zombie, and they pollinate
Nice.
all of our food, which means basically, like the entire food chain is just going to be zombie virus infection.
Ooh,
all over
that
the
would be
place.
effective. Yeah.
Mm.
See,
Mm.
come
I'll
up with
say-
a better answer than that.
I mean, it's not better. It's obviously not better, but I'll say, based on Jeff's earlier point, I'll say dogs just because they're kind of like everywhere already. And I feel like they
Yeah.
are always in our proximity. And they could
Or
really,
a T-Rex. Oh my
Or a
gosh.
T-Rex. Yeah. Whales.
Let's just
Wow.
answer.
A ghost
answer
shark
everything
zombie?
as T-Rex. Yeah. Okay.
What's an animal just like that kind of just gets worked all the time by everything?
like a bunny rabbit?
A
Like a-
mule.
Like
Maybe,
a-
give them something they can give back. Give
Yeah.
back a little,
Mm.
you know? Anchovies.
Sure. I like that.
Anchovies.
Amanda 2741. What is a villain you believe you could take, like a horror movie villain?
Chucky. Actually, no.
Yeah, Chucky's a great answer.
So I rewatched the first couple Chucky movies. He is resilient. You think you kill him,
is.
and
Yeah.
they put him through the ringer. They burn him, they chop his head off, they do everything. Like, even at a certain point, I was like, okay, there's no way he can come back like an eighth time. But he does in the same movie. It's crazy.
Yeah. You got to put him into like a wood chipper or something.
Yeah.
But
Trash
then he probably
compactor.
still comes back.
Yeah.
And you never know what's going to be a Chucky then, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. You just made him more compact.
Maybe he's going to put his spirit into like your phone or your AirPods or something.
Mm,
And you don't want Chucky AirPods.
right.
All right. I picked Michael Myers.
Yeah,
I
he's
just
so
feel like-
slow.
He's slow and he like lets you see him too.
He's not discreet.
No. So I just feel
You
like
can't have sex.
He's kind of
That's
just
true.
there.
yeah, I'm
If
good.
you have sex, he'll get you for sure.
All right.
Can
I
he
pick
have
Michael
sex?
Myers.
What happens
I'm
if
just
he
saying.
does?
He's not one
I
that
think he
punishes sex.
can.
That's Jason Voorhees, right?
Jason's more
That's-
the sex habit
Yeah.
They
killer.
both kind of get some people having sex, I think.
Sure.
But like
Michael,
if Jason
the first Halloween, the
Yeah, there's a
girl's roommate and
You're right.
her
Uh-huh.
boyfriend
You're right.
both get
You're right. Yeah. You know your sex stuff.
Sex.
You got it on lock.
yeah.
All right, Sammy and Jeff, what horror movie villain are you squaring off against?
I mean, I'll say that I do think I would die in every scenario.
Thank you for
I don't-
specifying that.
I don't think I'm super resilient in near death
on.
situations, but I'm looking at a list right now, and I'll go with Pinhead just because I'd like to see him, and I think he's kind of hot.
Yeah. Cool.
The whole BDSM thing kind of
Yeah,
has
yeah.
you
Yeah.
thinking a little bit.
Kind of a sexy way to go if I don't end up.
Right.
Yeah. Pleasure or pain, you know?
Yeah.
You don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, sadomasochist from hell.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
feel like I could take a house, like all those haunted houses.
Mm.
Yeah. Just
Like
move
house-
down.
Yeah, bulldozer it.
Okay. Any
Do a
haunted house is
Cast
Jeff's
a
answer.
spell inside of there, and it's like they're gone now.
All right, we're gonna do a couple more. I liked this one from Mandy.m.Taylor. $1 million. The person you love most is buried alive with a 1% chance of not getting out. Do you do it?
Wait, say it
What?
again.
You get $1 million, but the person you love the most has a 1% chance of being buried alive and they can't get out. Would you do it?
Wait,
I
they have a
would-
99%
uh,
chance of surviving, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So no, they're not going to get buried. There's a 1% chance that they're going to be buried alive and they can't get out. The other 99%, nothing happens. So
It's
they have
just
a
like
bag
spin a
with
wheel type of
they have a
thing?
bag with 100 rocks inside of it. If you draw the red rock, your person you love the most is buried alive and they can't get out.
Yeah.
Are you
No,
doing
And
it?
they
in this
shake the
economy,
rocks
$1 million,
out.
nah.
Yeah, that's true.
Doesn't go that far. I would do it just because I'm curious who the person I love most at this point in my life is. I just want to know.
Yeah.
This scenario
I-
would reveal that to you, yeah.
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 Yeah. It honestly might be one of you two for me.
Right.
And then it's like, even in that 1% chance, if one of you die, me and the other person get to split tooth and claw 50-50 now.
Mhm,
That's a good
So I'm
point.
still making money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
Making more
You are
money. Yeah,
busy.
making more money.
Like,
Yeah.
I'll be sad I didn't get the million, but I'll still be like happy about the extra percentage.
I don't think I'm doing it. I don't think I could. That's like the worst possible thing ever. So, yeah. Okay. All right. A couple more. Do you guys prefer the Scooby-Doo Scooby Gang or the Buffy Scooby Gang?
Buffy.
Yeah, Buffy for me.
Buffy.
The what?
Jeff? The Scooby Gang or the Buffy Scooby Gang?
Oh, I don't know.
All right.
Refuses
I don't know what
to
that
answer.
means.
All right.
I
All
don't
right.
get
We
my
finally hit a point where
pass.
Jeff's tired of listener questions. All right.
Nah.
One more then from Jeffrey Ward. What animal gives you pumpkin spice latte vibes?
What animal?
Squirrels.
Yeah. For me, it's like a
Like
chinchilla.
squirrels, I'm always
Yeah.
more into in the fall, and that's how I am with pumpkin spice treats
Okay.
too. Like
I'll
I'm
go with
seeing
red
squirrels
panda.
everywhere right now.
Ooh, red panda's a
Red
good
panda's
pick.
a good one.
Yeah.
I was thinking more of like a kind of dog, like a designer dog type of thing.
Yeah.
Don't you
Mm.
think? Like kind of one of those fluffy Pomeranians.
Little
Just
paw.
Yeah, like a doodle. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great pick. That's the right pick.
It's just because
Okay.
that's who's in the
Who's
photos
getting the
with the pumpkin
PSLs.
spice
Yeah.
latte. People.
I've
So
never had
it's
one.
Kind of cheating.
Never tried one.
What?
They're okay. I think they're
Yeah.
They're
okay.
great.
Worth
I'm
a
not a
try.
big pumpkin,
I'm a fan.
pumpkin flavor guy. So
Yeah,
yeah, I,
I
don't
mean-
know. Okay.
You're not missing,
Alright.
It'd
enough.
be a
to-
lot weirder if you were,
Yeah. Well, some
and
people
you
are.
wouldn't try one.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
if I
saying
just
you haven't.
loved pumpkin spice, but I yeah. Well,
But you refuse to try a latte.
yeah, it's a good point. Okay. Well, that's it for the episode. Sammy, thank you as always for joining us.
Thanks,
Uh,
Sam.
Guys.
Like we mentioned earlier, Sammy's podcast is called Too Scary to Watch. It's one of my all-time favorites. Do you got anything upcoming you want to plug?
When does this episode come out?
This will come out on Monday.
We are going to be doing a virtual live show on October 26th, our Halloween live show, where we're going to be recapping Antichrist, which I am
Ooh, the
very
Lars von Trier.
excited about.
Special guest Peter Thiel.
Oh my God, I forgot that he's so obsessed with
He
that.
had like a 10-minute tangent on
Oh
it
my
on
God,
a huge
he's
platform.
Such a freak. And we'll all be dressed up. It's going to be a good time. Antichrist. There's some really tough stuff in that movies that my co-hosts are not going to.
They're not going to like that
They're
one.
not going to
No.
like it at all, and I'm
No.
going to be just giddy.
I think this will be our one and only plug for Antichrist events.
And then recently we had Wes on for Dangerous Animals, the shark movie that came out this year, and that was super fun. So check
It
out
was
that
fun.
episode as
Yeah.
well. I loved that movie. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Same guy as The Loved Ones, which
Mhm.
is another great horror movie.
And
Okay.
another like all-timer death,
Death
or
scene. Yeah. Or
do they?
lobotomy.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say maybe they don't
Yeah.
actually die, which is worse.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Well, thank you, Sammy. If you are itching for some more Tooth and Claw Sammy content, me and Mike are going to have Sammy on for a quick subscriber, no pants horror movie
Oh.
roundup. I forget what we call it, but we'll explain that, Sammy, once we start it. So yeah, if you've been looking for a good reason to subscribe, there you go. That's coming up in a little bit. But thanks again for joining us, and sorry guys that I repeated another story.
yeah.
All right,
All
we love
good.
you.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.